Our guest conductor for this evening is Director of Band at San Diego State University. Please welcome Professor Shannon Kitelinger.
Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure and honor to be here the last 2 days. Plus, I drove out from San Diego a couple weeks ago to do the reading session with them, and it's just been such a pleasure to work with your children, your students, everybody that's involved with this. The directors have been so welcoming, and I do a lot of honor bands, and I have to say this is one of the better times I've had with an honor band. So I'm enjoying this. Bryant, who lives on the East Coast in the Carolinas, and he wrote a piece called Dusk. The title kind of says it, if you read into it, it's all about he calls the paradox of dusk. The fact that there are vibrant, radiant lights at the same time as things that are disappearing and just the idea. He spends summers in the Alps with his wife, because his wife is from Austria, and they travel to Europe every summer. So he's been inspired by things like watching sunsets and sunrises over the Alps. So as we play through this piece, we hope you just kind of envision something like that and enjoy the warm colors and warm textures that we get from the ensemble on Stephen Bryant's Dusk. next piece we're going to play for you is a piece called Strange Humors, and it's by John Mackey. And John Mackey is a very popular composer in the wing ensemble in the band repertoire right now. And this is one of his earlier pieces. He actually wrote it originally in graduate school, and he wrote it for djembe solo and string quartet, and later transposed it over for contraband. There are many, many versions of this. There's a saxophone quartet version. It's one of his more popular pieces. And it's a piece that I particularly enjoy programming with honor groups because there's so much to teach in it. We spent the week learning about rhythm, singing. Just so many rhythms. So their homework, when they get home with you, you have to ask them what a crossword is, and they have to go to bed early if they want to answer that. They lose something, whatever. I do that too. They should know what that is. So we've had a really good time working on it. This Strange Humors is a combination of African drumming and Eastern melodic rhythms. So you're going to notice some melodies that induce certain images in your head that might be Eastern based to go along with our djembe solo. Okay? Hope you enjoy John Mackey's Strange Humors.